I'm Walter Cronkite. This has been called a century of war. Today we present the story of a war that was won by all mankind against a cruel and crippling enemy whose favorite victim was children. The story, Victory Over Polio.
I was an 8-year-old boy and came home feeling poorly one day, and finally my parents taking me to the doctor and discovering that I had polio.
Born on the eve of World War II by President Franklin Roosevelt's personal struggle with polio, the National Foundation for Infantile Paralysis, better known as the March of Dimes, established a polio patient aid program and funded research for vaccines.
They were concerned about my breathing, so I spent half a day in an iron lung, which completely scared me to death as a young boy.
Polio used to strike thousands of children in the United States each year. The March of Dimes funded medical research accelerated as the patient aid program was taxed to its limits, particularly in the huge polio epidemic of 1949.
Parents could only come and visit with gowns and masks and so forth, and the thing I most wanted from them was a hug, and all they could do was stand aside and watch.
Thanks to the March of Dimes and the millions of people who supported the foundation, we no longer have to fear another devastating polio epidemic like the one that terrorized the previous generations. Historians have called the conquest of polio one of the great achievements of the 20th century. Its original mission accomplished, the foundation turned its focus to preventing birth defects and infant mortality.
The thing that it's really done is help me understand what a huge cost prematurity is to our community. But most importantly, it's a cost to the health of the child and the emotional health of the family.
The March of Dimes NICU Family Support Program provides information, comfort, and support to families during NICU hospitalizations.
We have ambassador families every year, and it's so wonderful to see those families and hear their stories and understand how the March of Dimes has added value to their lives.
Meet Heidi and Ryan Stevenson and their daughter Ayla.
When Ayla and Zoe, we found out we were having twins, they just said it was a regular twin pregnancy. As we woke up to go to our 25-week appointment, Heidi jumped out of the shower and felt something drop. They ended up being born at 25 weeks.
Yeah, it was scary. There wasn't any advance notice. It was woke up and instant labor. Her fingers were so small when we finally got to touch her. She could barely wrap her fingers around the tip of your finger.
I'd never been able to really be very emotional about really anything until, our daughter Zoe passed away, and we were faced with the decision of let her live or let her pass away.
Premature-related causes of death account for 35% of all infant deaths.
We took her off the ventilator when she was 24 days old, and from then on we were able to focus on our daughter Ayla.
Ayla was born 16 weeks early, weighing 1 pound and 15 ounces. She was a micropreemie.
I remember seeing the respiratory therapist pick her up and take her over to a table behind where we were standing and watching that individual start chest compressions on her and just feeling helpless.
And then come to find out, a lot of the medications, a lot of the technological advancements were funded by the March of Dimes program. So it became very personal. We were in the NICU for 135 days, which is 4.5 months.
For the first while, we weren't really able to hold Ayla or Zoe. And after a month, we were able to finally hold Ayla for the first time.
Premature birth is also a leading cause of long-term neurological disabilities in children.
We were cautioned not to take Ayla out for the first 2 years of her life.
The first few days when we brought her home, she slept on my chest.
Ayla's quite a miracle. When we brought her home, she had had a lot of complications while she was in the NICU. And some of the complications she had had, the doctors weren't sure what her outcome would be.
Ayla is now 4 years old. She is healthy, very active, curious, and loves to read.
And she's progressed so much from where she used to be. It's just amazing that she is doing the things that she is doing now.
And she just brings so much joy to my life.
The March of Dimes program, one of the most important things it does, it brings hope to families.
This year, the March of Dimes is celebrating its 75th anniversary. More than 4 million babies are born in the United States every year, and the March of Dimes helped each and every one through 75 years of research, education, vaccines, and significant medical breakthroughs.
It feels really good to be part of the March of Dimes, and I'm absolutely confident, based on what a great job and what great success the organization has had in the past, that it will be successful in the future.
On behalf of the National Foundation for Infantile Paralysis, I wish to express heartfelt thanks to all of you who have contributed your dimes and your dollars to further the fight against a cruel disease.